G'day, guys, and welcome back to another episode on the podcast. Today, I wanted to just talk about, something that for me is really important in my day to day life. I think, in general, this is probably the most important and powerful thing for people when they have some sort of ambition or discovery that they want to pursue. And for me, that's goal setting. I'm a huge goal setting person. I love the feeling of achieving something during the day, at the end of the week, after halfway through the year, every quarter, or the end of the year. But I guess whenever we want to do something that's positive or impacts us well, to ourselves, we always do try to set goals for ourselves, even if it's subconsciously. I think a lot of the time people don't even realize they're setting goals for themselves throughout the day, throughout the week, whatever time frame you think of. I guess whether that's setting a goal oh, I want to get a six pack by summer, I want to make two grand this week, I want to start doing my uni notes, which never gets done, but I want to start doing that. There's always some sort of goal, and it's always, I guess, an unspoken kind of time frame when you just think of it like that, unless you give yourself a time frame for it. But no matter how big or how small it is, whenever you think of a task, you always kind of associate it with putting a time frame to it. So I want to get my uni notes done today. I want to get a six pack by the end of summer. That's your time frame, by the end of summer or by the start of summer. I want to make 2 grand by the end of this week. That's your time frame. By the end of this week, I want to make 2 grand. I guess for me, at the start of this year, so start of 2025, I knew I'm going out of school. There's not going to be too much schedule in my life because from what I've heard, uni and what I know now, uni is a massive piss take. It's unless you're doing a really hard course. I'm doing exercise sports science. I've literally not done a single thing this entire week. Or last week, I reckon I worked on my assignment once and I got half of it done, and now I'm going to finish it probably 2 days before it's due. But I knew that I wasn't going to have much schedule going into this year. And so I thought it was really important for me, like, look, your two main things for this year are going to be your uni and probably your podcast. So let's set some goals for outside of that, or some smaller goals within that, instead of just broader goals that I guess aren't super fulfilling and aren't super specific to me. Why does my chair keep fucking falling down? But so I set a whole page worth of goals. I can't remember. I think it's 8 or 9 goals for me to achieve by the end of this year. And you know what? I'm just gonna read all of them out because fuck it, why not? So it's all here in my notebook, and from top to bottom, these are all my goals. I've written them all out. Stuff that I want to achieve by the end of the year. And only or not only, but 8 months in, we got 4 months left, which is wild. This year has gone so quick. First goal, this is pretty ambitious. Make $1,000 through personal branding in a week. Next one, win under 19s best and fairest for my club. Make 70 episodes on Spotify. Gain 50,000 followers across all social media platforms. That's not going well. Create any form of social media content with another creator that has a large following. Definitely not happening. Run a marathon. Plan a big charity run. Post 100 times on Instagram and TikTok. Play a seniors game and play with my cousin. Whoa, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Play a seniors game with my cousin. Fuck. Oh, jeez, I'm just clip farming. But out of all of those goals, I've done 2, and I'm on track to do 4 within the next month. And I guess when I was making all of these goals, I knew, okay, I can't be too ambitious because when I don't achieve anything by the end of the year, I'm just gonna be doubtful of myself. And I wasn't gonna make them too easy. I wasn't gonna be like go to the gym twice a week every week throughout the year because I feel like I can stick to that pretty easily. I made sure I mixed up ambitious goals and relatively, I guess, reasonable goals for me to hit. And so, I guess with all these goals, it's pretty easy for me to just go like, oh, like I'll just fucking work hard. Like I just wanted to achieve them. I just did all the work. But like it, it goes deeper than that. But yeah, I guess like the only way I was able to achieve these goals in the last 8 months, it wasn't just by like I said, just doing it, but I had to break them down to small parts. And it's like when you go in for a test at school or like a quiz, you don't just do all the work in one day and then go into the quiz and ace it. Like that rarely happens. I had to do so many little things over the course of the 8 months for me to be able to hit this. I didn't get to play a seniors game because I just got to play. I played a seniors game because since November I've been consistently training and eating pretty well, and I was pretty dedicated to it, and that's why. And another motivator was me wanting to play a footy game with my cousin, my older cousin, because we never got to play a game of footy with each other because he left school when I was joining that school that year, and we just always talked about him and thought about like, oh, it'd be so sick if we got to play a game with each other. But now that's happened because I chose to work really, really, really hard to be able to get that opportunity, and I was lucky enough to get it. And so that's why that happened. And it's the same thing with my other goal of posting 70 episodes. I'm only able to be in reach of this goal because I've consistently posted an episode every single week, and I've added a post every month on top of a post every week on top of my normal posting schedule. That's what's made me able to reach this, and it's the same thing with my social media. I always make a goal to at least post one or two clips from an episode every week because that just gets me doing something, but also it helps me just promote my episodes and gets me a couple more listens. But I think with goal setting, honestly, it is the hardest. It's so hard to stick to, especially when you're committing to something for a full year. I committed to doing this podcast for a full year, for this entire year, and that includes celebrations, that includes like other commitments. I made a promise to myself, even if you have something else on, schedule the post earlier in the week, film on Monday, schedule it for Friday, so that when you have something on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you don't just say, oh, I didn't have time, because you did have time. You had 40 minutes to sit down and talk, and you had an extra 20 minutes each other day to be able to edit. I knew that I was going to make excuses for myself, so I made sure that I filmed. Like today, I'm literally filming on the Friday when I'm posting on this Friday. I'm literally going to post this in a couple of hours. And I just hate trying to make excuses for myself. I just get so I get agitated by myself whenever I make excuses, and then I listen to myself with those excuses. But again, I said it last episode, with going into winter and doing, just your regular schedule, everything becomes so much more dull and boring and blunt. And literally getting up in the morning just feels so much harder. I feel like I'm better off at waking up at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock to go up and just do something, like go to the gym or go for a walk, take my dog for a long walk, or go and just start doing some uni notes. That's never going to happen, but it's an idea. And I think that's better than me just wake up at like 8 o'clock or 7:30, because I just like end up sitting in bed. It's just my normal bedtime wake up. It's like when I usually wake up and then I just scroll on my phone because I'm like, oh, I'm always up at this time. I may as well just go on my phone. And I don't know, winter's just it's so shit. I love it because I get to play footy and like you get to wear warm clothes and you get to try different styles. But summer's just like the mood and the motivation of summer is just worlds better than winter. But that's genuinely the hardest part of goal setting, is that trying to stick to it is the hardest part, without a doubt. Because it's so easy to make an excuse for yourself to not do something than it is to do it. That's a bar. Like it's so easy for you to say, "Oh, you already went to the gym this week. You can just take this day off." Or, "Oh, you took Gigi. You took your dog for a walk yesterday. You don't need to take her for a walk again today." Or just like have that little sweet treat. Have a lolly. Why not? Like it's so easy for you to fall into those bad habits instead of sticking to whatever your goal is. And I think it's harder for you to say it's harder for you to achieve your goals if you don't actually talk about it as well. I found that I I only started talking to my mates about how I wanted to run a marathon by December 1st, and I wrote down that goal 1st of January 2025 to run a marathon, and I only just started talking about it with my mates, like, oh, what I'm going to do, where I'm going to run it, how long I'm going to have to train for, what my training will be like, and all this stuff. And 8 months, I kept that away for 8 months because I, to be fair, I was never going to run a marathon during footy season, and I was never going to train for a marathon during footy season. So it was never really in play, but also I never really just said anything. And I think it only really came up because everyone's going through the marathon season now. Like marathons are in Melbourne, they're occurring a lot more often now, so they're always happening. There was the Run Melbourne, and then the Melbourne Marathon's in October, which is not too far away now. And there was a Ballarat Marathon that happened recently. But since all of them are happening, it just came up, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna run one by December 1st is my deadline. Because like past December 1st, you've got a bunch of like celebrations and everyone's going out. It's summer. You've also got Christmas as well. And then you got like festivals and all that other stuff that you want to go to. So I think December 1st is a good deadline for me because it gives me enough time to actually run it, like to actually train for it. But again, like with the goal of playing a footy game with my cousin and playing a seniors game, which is basically the same goal, just integrated and expanded with each other. I I kind of saw the most progression when I was just talking about it with my coach, and like he just asked me, he's like, "Oh, like, what are your thoughts on playing seniors?" And I'm like, "Of course, I want to fucking play seniors. Are you serious?" Like I just want to play with my cousin. Oh my god, I need to stop saying that. Like, I want to play a footy game with my cousin, and yeah, once I started talking about it, I was like, okay, now it's out there. I have to adhere to that claim that I want to play seniors footy. So I had to train harder. I had to work my ass off, and then eventually I got a gig to play. But yeah, that really brings us to the end of this episode. There wasn't really too much for me to yap on about because I'm meant to be posting today, and I'm literally just filming it now. So um, yeah, that's the end of the episode. I will try plan a good episode for the next one. I've been very lazy recently, but we move. We're just trying to get something out. So, yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed, and we'll see you guys for the next episode next week.